In this demo, I am going to give you what are the basics of SAP and who will be there in SAP, and what is the role and responsibilities of ABAP, and what are the contents we are going to cover in this particular ABAP session, and these kind of things. Right?
Yeah, okay, Jacob.
Information technology main concept is to automate some manual process. That means any concept, any work we can do in two different ways, manually and automatically. Manually means if you do anything manually, we need to give so many efforts, but still we can't expect 100% accuracy. That's why we are going to do each and everything automatically. That means we are going to do automation of each and every manual process. By that, with less efforts, we can do each and everything. So C, C++, Java, .NET, Fortran, Pascal, and all these are different kinds of information technologies. And significance of each and every technology is quite different. C, C++ stream is significance is different. Java, .NET significance is different. Embedded systems significance is different. Each and everything is fully meant for automating some manual process. Just like that, SAP is also a software which is used to automate very specific thing that is known as a business only. So in SAP projects, we are going to automate businesses. So before going to do automation of any business and the importance of SAP, first of all we need to discuss about the business, what we can do in manually. What are the problems we are facing with manual processing of a business, and how this SAP is resolving all these things we have this right. So now first thing I am going to tell you is a business. I am just taking a legacy scenario. From the screen, if you see, any organization or enterprise or a company can be divided into so many units. See, sales, inventory, procurement, quality, production, marketing, and finance, controlling. All these things are different kinds of different kinds of resources of a particular company. Right. Now, in manual process, these units are going to be maintained in different geographical stations. Geographical stations means sales department might be in somewhere else, and materials department will be somewhere else, production department will be somewhere else. And whenever these people are doing their own works separately, independently somewhere else, but even though these are working their own work, but they are working on behalf of a particular company. So whenever they are doing some work, ultimately they have to interact with each and other people. Let me take a simple scenario. Suppose one salesperson went to some area and he committed that by this 12th of April he is going to deliver 200 tons of cement. His job is done. And once his job is done, he has to inform that information to warehousing people. Since warehousing people have to ultimately deliver that particular goods. Okay? Right. So in that case, if you didn't able to transfer that information without any loss or noise to particular warehousing, your job will be gone. That means your business will be gone. These warehousing people have to inform that information to production people. Production people have to interact with raw material. If you want to buy raw material, we need to take clearance from finance. So whenever you are doing single activity in any kind of business, so many times we need to interact with each and everything. That means this kind of interaction is required from each and every resources of a company. Each and every unit is known as resources of a company or enterprise. So now my point is, this interaction can be done in two different ways. One is automatically, second one is manually. Already we have discussed, manually if you are doing something, we can't expect maximum efficiency or accuracy. That means manually he has to pass the information, but there is no guarantee for successful 100% accuracy over there. That's why my intention is to maintain this total business properly. I need a tight integration among all these units. By that, if salesperson completes some sales and if you click on some button, that will be automatically affected to all these areas. If you want to really do the things automatically, there must be a tight integration. So this is the main concept what we do in SAP projects. This kind of business people, something like Procter & Gamble, Nestle, D-Mart, Spencer's, and JK Cements, this kind of people are coming to SAP industries, that means IBM, TCS, Wipro, and all these companies, and these people are asking, we are not able to do our business manually, please do maintain some proper integration among all the resources of a company. Now these companies are taking the project and they are using some softwares. In 1970s, to resolve these problems, they came with one theory known as ERP, Enterprise Resources Planning. And in SAP, each and every word is a self-describing word. Self-describing means it tells about itself. If you analyze each and every word, you can understand each and everything. See, planning. The purpose of planning is integration. Integration among what? Resources of a company. If you remember, I told you earlier, see, these are the resources of a company. So, sales, finance, money, manpower, materials, manufacturing, production, sales, warehousing. These are the resources. And resources of what? An enterprise. Enterprise means that is organization. So, ERP is theoretically defining how we can maintain tight integration among all the resources of a company. This is ERP theory. But ERP is simply theory. By theory, nothing is going to be happening, right? So if you want to implement theory, we need some technologies. But from this particular diagram, you can see the effect of ERP, after ERP. Before ERP, this is the problem, right? There is no integration. Now after ERP, you can expect this kind of integration among all the resources of a company. Now the results of integration you can see here. You can no need to worry about the integration. You can concentrate on only business processes. And very important thing, being a technical person, you can expect one thing: elimination of redundancy of the database. Redundancy means if everyone is maintaining their own data, so many times you will maintain duplicates of records. And if you are maintaining a centrally integrated data, there will be no chance of redundancy or duplication of the data. That is the most important thing. So corporate consolidation will be very easier, and control is going to be for managers, and all these things will be very easy with this kind of integration. And one more important thing on behalf of a technical person is elimination of interfaces. Elimination of interfaces means, see, if you see the above diagram, this sales, suppose if you think like this, if sales can be maintained in Java, finance can be maintained in some Tally, and inventory can be maintained in somewhere else, and some materials can be maintained in AutoCAD, something like this. See, different modules can be maintained in different technologies. Why can't we integrate all these things? Yes, of course we can do, but point is, if you want to make a communication from one technology to another technology, you must have to design interfaces. And interface, of course, it may make the communication between two different entities, but it is going to be very complicated things. But if all these units are maintained or prepared in the same technology, to make a communication among them, there is no need of interfaces. That is a main advantage of SAP. All these modules were maintained, designed and developed by SAP. That's why there is no need of creating any interface to maintain communication between or among all these units of a company. That's the main advantage of SAP and ERP actually. And there are so many ERP packages. I told you ERP is a theory, and theory can be implemented by so many. Theory can be implemented by technologies only. And ERP packages can be. There are so many ERP packages, and one of them is SAP. SAP, BAN, JD Edwards, PeopleSoft, Oracle Financials, etc., etc., etc. All of them are ERP packages. But among all of them, SAP occupied #1 place in ERP sector. So you are going to SAP. And if you want to learn any technology, you must be clear with two things. One is what is the technology and what is the need of that particular technology. And SAP occupied #1 place in ERP sector. And now, till now, we have discussed about what is the need of SAP. And once again, I'm trying to tell you, conclude this one. If you want to say what is SAP, SAP is an ERP package. And simply you can say SAP is an ERP package which is used to automate a business. And automation of a business means to maintain tight integration among all the units of all the resources of a company. That's it. Now we need to see who will be there in SAP, right? Okay. So now who will be there in SAP? SAP full form is Systems, Applications, and products in data processing. If you see, systems, applications and products in data processing. I told you already, in SAP each and every word is self-describing word and you must need to analyze that one. So in data processing, and I will show you, in data processing means I told you, right? So SAP means we are processing the data from one unit to another unit. So that is nothing but integration, and data will be processed if there is an integration. So in SAP, while you are going to maintain integration among all the units, we need three things. One is systems, another one is applications, one more thing is products. These three teams together are developing one SAP project. Suppose if you want to step into SAP, you can belong to any one of the team, either systems or applications or products. So now we need to see the roles and responsibilities of systems people, applications people and products people. Next. See, and in SAP, the total SAP project can be divided into two groups. One is functional consultants and second one is technical consultants. See, why these guys are known as consultants, that we can see later, but here any project, SAP project, will be divided into two parts. One is for analyzation, that will be done by functional people, and second one is going to be technical people. That means the people who are going to develop anything. And if you see roughly here, functional people are nothing but business consultants and technical people are nothing but programming people and networking people. I will take one more diagram which was drawn on the board, and by that I will explain you what is S, what is A, what is P. Okay. See, this is, I guess you can understand everything from this diagram. In data processing, we need systems, applications and products. See, first functional consultants. So why we need functional consultants? What is the role of functional consultant? We have to see. See, there is a client. I told you, whenever IBM or TCS, Wipro, these companies are doing any project, whenever there is a client, then only they will do a project, right? Suppose client is a Ranbaxy. Ranbaxy, you know that it's a pharmaceutical company. If Ranbaxy is coming to IBM and they are starting the project, IBM people will ask Ranbaxy to give their requirements. Now from Ranbaxy, everyone is trying to give business requirements. But if you remember, one business cannot be having only one team or one person, right? There will be so many different teams. Sales team, billing team, delivery team, and goods team, or receipts teams. This kind of so many teams will be there in your project. Now each and every person coming with their own requirements. But all these business requirements cannot be analyzed by only one person in SAP. That's why for every concept in your normal client, that is like marketing, recruitment, finance and controlling, there should be a corresponding team available in your SAP project. The people who know the business are known as functional consultants. That's why we are maintaining multiple functional consultants over here. Something like MM, that is material management. The people who know material process. Next, production planning. SD, sales and distribution. HR, human resources. Finance, controlling, warehouse management. These are the people who know business scenarios. So these people are analyzing client requirements and they are preparing functional specifications. Simple, if you want to build a house, first of all we need to just ask the architect to prepare a plan on the paper. That is abstraction. Here also the same thing. Functional people are taking requirements from end user and they are analyzing everything and they are preparing functional specification. That means on this functional specification you will be having something like, I need a table, I need a program, I need a screen and all these things. That means these people know what to do, but they don't know how to do. That is the most important thing. These functional specifications are on paper and we are communicating through English language. Just like that, in SAP, if you want to communicate with the system, we have one and only programming language, that is ABAP only. And ABAP team is known as programmers. All the functional specifications from different types of functional consultants will be given to ABAP consultants. And ABAP consultant knows how to do. So the specifications given by business people will be analyzed and will be implemented, will be developed by ABAP people. and these two together are doing some project. But there is a problem with this functional and ABAP people. These people can do anything if they have systems with proper software and proper network and everything. Otherwise, they can't do anything. That's why before going to start any project, first of all the software development companies are recruiting these basis consultants. Basis consultants are something like network administrators. So these people are taking systems and they are installing SAP on machines. They are preparing usernames, passwords and everything. Once they set up the total network, functional people prepare blueprints and that will be developed by ABAP team. So these three together will be there in your SAP project actually. Okay. So now if you see how to justify SAP with respect to all these roles and responsibilities is in data processing. That means in SAP project we need systems, that is basis people, that applications, that is ABAP people, and products, that is functional people. Now with respect to your interest and your educational background, you can go for corresponding module. And since you are a technical person, you have one module, that is ABAP, which is nothing but programming language, right? And before going to ABAP, you must know one more thing about SAP, that is in real time SAP is going to be maintained in 3-tier architecture. 3-tier. Tier means layer. One SAP system is going to maintain in 3 different layers actually. First layer is known as presentation layer, second layer is known as application layer, third layer is known as database layer. See, if you see this diagram, you can see everything. Presentation layer means you can give only inputs and outputs, that is GUI, graphical user interface. And last one is data storage level, that is nothing but database, you know that Oracle, Sybase, Informatics, something like that. And in between them there is something else known as application. See, not only this, if you pick any system there will be three things, front end, back end and processor. If you are going to maintain each and everything within one layer, that is known as single tier architecture. If you are going to maintain these 3 activities in 2 layers, that is known as 2-tier architecture or client server technology. And if you are going to maintain in these 3 things in 3 different layers, that is known as 3-tier architecture. That is a point. So what do you mean by this? Even if you are in single tier or 2-tier or 3-tier, there are only 3 activities, front end, back end and processor. So what is the difference? The difference is whenever you are writing program, getting result is not the constraint. Getting result with better performance, and performance will be saved and improved, efficiency will be improved or enhanced if you maintain less burden on database. In single tier and 2-tier, load on database is going to be increasing very rapidly, and whenever load on database increases, performance will be decreases. To avoid that, here all presentations means users are going to be directly hitting on application server, not into the database server. So this application server is taking load from all the users and it is sending one by one requests to database. So here load is totally taking into application server, there will be no issues on database. So ultimately the point is SAP, to get maximum efficiency, SAP systems are going to be maintaining 3-tier architecture, that is presentation layer, application layer and database layer. That's it. Now I'm just trying to give you the main important things about ABAP only. Okay, ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming Language, and as we discussed, each and every term in SAP is going to be self-describing word. If you see, A stands for advanced and P stands for programming. It is an advanced programming for what? BA, business applications. So this programming language is going to be developing for only business applications, not at all for anything else. That means this is ABAP itself is saying that I have been developed for business applications. We should not compare with other programming languages. And roughly, if you want to say in SAP, you can implement anything or you can develop anything by using ABAP language only. So now, and ABAP. ABAP is a 4th generation programming language. Maximum, if you are going to learn any technology, any language in anywhere, there will be 3 things you have to do basically. Any package project can be divided basically into three things, right? front end, back end, and again programs. Front end means GUI, back end means database, and application means programs. Here also we do the same thing, but on behalf of a business. SAP is purely meant for business, and ABAP is a business application language. GUI we are designing for business applications, programs we are writing for business applications, and database also we are creating for business applications. We are not doing business being an ABAPer. You are technical people, you will be remain like a technical people only, but you are technically supporting business people. That's the point you have to understand. And ABAP is 4th generation programming language. And 1st generation, you know, I guess, machine level language. Only zeros and ones will be there. Most efficient programming language in the world is 1st generation, but it is very, I mean, we can't write big programs in machine level language. That's why we went to 2nd generation, that is assembly language program, ALP. So in that ALP we came from zeros and ones to some mnemonics, small meaningful English words. Okay, here also it's fine, but here also we can't write big programs. That's why we went to high level languages. High level means C, C++, Java, and all these things comes under high level languages. And ABAP is 4th generation. So what is happening here? What is going to be improving? Complexity. Writing complexity of programs is going to be decreasing from one generation to another generation. That means comfortability for programmers are going to be increasing. Just like that you can write programs. Here we can get maximum reusability concepts, and we can just use just like that. It's a normal English conversation. Syntax of ABAP. Now, in ABAP, we are going to, So in ABAP, we are going to discuss about all these concepts: reports, interfaces, conversions, extensions. And reports are meant for SAP business documents. Interfaces for also business interfaces, conversions for business conversions, and extensions also for business extensions. And I will give you one more board diagram, and by seeing that you can understand what are the contents we are going to cover. See, if you see here, contents of ABAP. Generally, if you go for any interview, first of all, if you say that I have been trained in ABAP, first of all they will ask you these concepts: RICEF. These are the contents of SAP ABAP. What being an ABAP, what we can do? First thing, R. R stands for reports. See, reports. Whenever you say something about reports or anything, first of all we need to think about only one thing: how it is related to a normal business. Reports. How reports is related to a business? We need to understand. Simple. Report is like a simply progress report. In progress report, we are comparing previous exam marks and today's current exam marks. By that we can check whether we are improving or not. Just like that, every business day-to-day transactions, they have to compare with respect to yesterday's sales and today's sales. By comparing that, I can understand what is my business, what is happening with my business, whether I am getting loss or gain, and then again accordingly I can plan tomorrow's sales and all these things. So this kind of, with respect to the requirement and day-to-day transactions, if you are going to analyze data, we are going to generate reports, and in SAP these are also known as lists and ALV reports. Technically we are going to generate those things. But simply you can say reports are internal documents of an organization. That's it. Next, F. F means forms. Okay, simply. One more thing. If you are going to any customer or vendor, or simply if you say, if you're a railway inquiry office, if you fill an application, they are going to do what? They are preparing everything and they are clicking on print button and they are getting some printout, ticket printout. And they are giving the ticket printout to passenger. Just like that, if you go for any college, if you pay something, they are giving some receipt. Railway tickets, bus tickets, sales orders, purchase orders, invoices, requests for quotations, checks, drafts. The documents which we are giving to outside person of an organization is known as external documents, and simply we call it as forms. That is scripts and forms. See, whenever you got a requirement, No one is going to tell you that generate a report or generate a form. With respect to the requirement, being an ABAPer, you need to understand, okay, I need to generate scripts. I need to develop reports, this kind of things. Okay, next. E. E means enhancements. So this is a very important thing we have to understand. SAP is a ready-made package. The most important part of SAP is it's a ready-made package. Ready-made in the sense, whenever you bought SAP, it comes along with so many standard tables, programs, and transaction codes and everything. We are going to use all of them in your project implementation, and we are going to create something else. That means in SAP project we will be working with two types of objects. One is standard objects, second one is customized objects. The objects, object means a program or something like this. The programs and objects which were given by SAP are known as standard, and the programs which we are creating with respect to end user requirement, that is known as customized. But sometimes there is one more thing. Once you got a standard program which was given by SAP, if it is not fulfilling 100% requirement, being an ABAPer, what I will do is I am going to add extra logic to that particular existing one. That kind of adding extra logic for existing functionalities is known as enhancement, and that enhancement also will be done by ABAPer only in SAP. And that enhancements can be done by some techniques are known as user exits, customer exits, and baddies. What are those? We will discuss in the class. Right. So R is internal document, F is external document, E is enhancing standard. And next, conversions. So this is very important role of ABAPer. Reports and conversions are going to be very important role of ABAPer actually. See, in business, very large scale industries business, every day or periodically, data is coming from outside of the company in very bulk amount, large amount, huge amount, and the data details or information is coming through files, and files data is known as unstructured data. Unstructured data means string format. But in SAP database, we are going to maintain data in tables format. So the data which has been taken into the files, that files data we are going to upload into the program, we are converting into valid structured data into our database tables. This kind of uploading bulk amount of data from non-SAP system or legacy system into SAP database is known as conversions. This is very day-to-day activity of an ABAPer in SAP projects, and that conversions can be implemented by a concept known as BDC and LSMW. Differences and all these things we can discuss about all these things later. Right. And last one, interfaces. And I guess being a computer student, you know that interface. What is the interface? Interface means which is making the connectivity between two different technologies or two different entities or two different domains is known as interface. See, now how it is related to our business? Simple thing. Suppose you have your work company and I have my own company, and you are maintaining your own database, I am my own database, and you are doing your own automation and I am doing my own automation. There is no problem. But we are having some agreement that you are going to transfer your data, you are going to share your data to me, and I am going to share my data to you. So this kind of interaction, if you want to make with respect to an agreement, we need to prepare an interface. Through that interface, we are going to transfer the data, just like envelope cover. If you want to send a greeting card directly, it is not possible, right? I will pick my greeting card, I will keep it into one envelope cover, and I will write an address of my partner, and I will send it through some postal department. In the same way, from my database table, if you want to send the data, I need to transfer the data through concepts known as interfaces, and which is nothing but CA concept. You might have seen in anywhere else, ABAP CA. CA means cross applications. You are making link between two different applications is known as cross applications. That can be implemented by RFC, BAPI, AV, IDOCS. So these together known as RISEF technologies, RISEF. But these are applications. But I told you already, any project will be having three things. One is front end, another one is back end, third one is application. And these RISEF comes under applications. But where is back end and the front end? Here, first one, database. In SAP, database can be created by a concept known as data dictionary. Data dictionary is a concept through which we can create the database. That's it. Next, backend is ready, application is ready. But end user, if you want to interact with you, we need a dialogue programming. That is nothing but GUI. And this is also known as module pool program, which is used to design screens in your SAP. Right? So this is data dictionary, this is dialogue programming, and this is application. So these are the contents we are going to cover throughout our SAP ABAP session. Understand? So these are the contents. And if you see programming languages, C and C++. C is procedural type, C is object-oriented type. In the same way, ABAP is also supporting both the things. Basically, ABAP is procedural type language just like C, and still it is supporting OOPS concepts. Once you finish all these things, we are going to cover this concept also, that is OOPS concepts. So how SAP is supporting, ABAP is supporting OOPS concepts, we are going to discuss over there. And the last slide, and I would like to give you this information. What is going to be the role of ABAPer briefly? And I already explained you, but I just want to give you something. See, suppose this is entity data, which is IntelliGroup company, now recently taken by entity data, and this is Ranbaxy client. Okay, entity data is software development company, and this Ranbaxy is client. Now client is giving requirement to entity data. Okay, fine, but immediately the main role of ABAPer is, whenever you got a requirement, you should not go for customization. In real time, in your projects, you are going to do only 20 to 25% of customization only. Remaining 80% we are going to take from SAP package only. So see here, see this diagram, by you can understand. Whenever entity people take over the project, first of all they will ask Ranbaxy to buy SAP package. Yes, SAP package was bought by Ranbaxy people. Done. But whenever Ranbaxy people give a requirement, first entity people have to check in the package whether that requirement was already implemented by SAP or not. If they got the program, they will test it and they will give it back to Ranbaxy people. That kind of objects are known as what? Predefined or standard objects. Okay, that is fine. Suppose I got one more requirement and that requirement was not fulfilled in SAP, and that requirement will be maintained by developed by functional and technical consultants in your entity data. So every software development company will maintain their own functional and technical people. Now this requirement of Ranbaxy will be given to this team. They are going to analyze it and they are going to develop it and they are going to give it back to end user. End user never cares whether that object was developed by SAP or their team. They need to check their own requirement. That's the only one thing. Done. And finally, these standard objects, these are customized objects, user defined objects. But in between them, I told you there is one more thing. Have a look. Suppose Ranbaxy people gave a requirement. With respect to his requirement, I found a program. But that program is fulfilling only 95% of my requirement. So what should we do? Remaining 5%, I should be able to add it. But here we have a problem. If this 5% of logic is making any problem with this 95%, that is known as modifications. But in SAP is not allowing you to do modifications. Since modifications is not allowed by SAP. Why? Because SAP is not only a software, it's a ready-made package. MM, PP, SD, FI, CO, all these modules were developed and integrated also. And if you open a program and if you do changes, that program might be used already in so many areas, and that is going to be affected in all those areas. That's why SAP is not allowing you to do some changes with standard objects. That's why here remaining 5% of custom logic you should be able to add for the standard program without affecting that. That is known as enhancement. So being an ABAPer, you need to do two things. One is creating customized objects, that is user defined programs, and next one is enhancements. These are the two different roles of an ABAPer, what generally we do in any kind of SAP projects. That's it. So ultimately, I'm just going to give you a conclusion. SAP is trying to give you automate a business, in that functional people are taking requirements and they are preparing specifications, and those specifications are given to ABAP people, and ABAP people are going to develop a project, develop programs and all these things, and they are testing it and they are giving back to functional people. And the interaction between these two people, hardware wise, software wise, and all these networking wise, maintained by basis people. S stands for systems, that is basis people. A stands for applications, that is ABAP people. P stands for products, that is functional people. These three together do SAP projects. That's it. That is from my side. That is a demo of SAP ABAP first demo, right?